Yeah, pretty good birthday and a good game from yourself and the team.
Yeah, it was good, and look, it was one of the hardest games we've had for the year. And maybe the first 5 weeks, we won maybe a little bit too easily, and then sort of got caught on the back foot. So the last few weeks, and the boys that played state last week, it was just a reminder of this is what it takes to play footy every week. There's no easy games, and that was one of the hardest physical. It's probably the most physical contest up there with Lauderdale a fortnight ago. Is the game we played. If you might check the app or whatever, and you see it was a 10-goal win, but that was physically probably the hardest game that we've played in this year, definitely.
They got a fast start, but second quarter was the turning point. What was the change?
Yeah, we started winning the ball out of the middle. Taylor and Brad started to go through there. They've been really struggling with injuries the last month, so they've been sort of hobbling around a bit. And probably about the 5-minute mark of the second quarter, Taylor and Brad just said, "No, enough's enough. Get us involved." And we started rotating through more with the mids and the forwards, a bit more, rotate. So myself, Ponty and Jack Event started spending more time forward. Taylor and Brad started getting their hands at the stoppages, and that probably turned the game, really. Taylor's captain and Brad's is vice, and along with Jack Event, so the leaders stood up, which was good.
Yourself, mate, 7 goals, was a pretty handy afternoon.
Yeah, it was good fun, So, I got a message walking off that Cole Garland kicked 10 on this ground 10 years ago. So if there was any chance of me getting a big head, there's no chance of that. So thanks, Cole, if you'll be watching this. So, it's just good fun. It's something I practice, and it's good to see a few of the boys starting to get rewards too. Louis Holmer hasn't kicked many goals this year. KJ, that was his first for the club. Carl Harrison, all in the last quarter there, and that's something we've been practicing along with Carlton Wadley as well. So Dill Headland, that's something they've been focused on at training. So it's good for those guys to step up, because we need more spread throughout. For our goal kickers, it tend to be the same sort of 5 or 6 every week. So that was pleasing as well.
Important to get back on the winners list after those last couple of losses.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we had to win today, and next week as well is a big game against Launceston. So look, we really sort of set ourselves for this 2-week block. It's really important. If you lose 1 or 2, you're back in the pack. So we sort of took stock this week. Trained really well. Monday. We had the guys with the state, quite a number trained with the guys there, and whether or not the intensity's been there the last month or so, not too sure, but it's definitely going to hold us in good stead. And that game last week was a really timely reminder of what it takes, to win matches at TSL level and hopefully finals. You
said, I think it was after Lauderdale, that maybe the burden was being carried by a few of the stars, and it wasn't much of a team performance. Were you happier with sort of the load and carried throughout? Yeah,
definitely.
More of the team?
Young Mansell today really stepped up. It was really pleasing with him. He's trained all with the Mariners all year, and for the last couple of weeks when he's finished with the Mariners, he hasn't been able to get the training, so he's sort of just been playing. And I said to him during the week, you're training well, it'll come in a game. And I think sort of halfway through the second quarter, I was like, he's starting to look good. He did a couple of nice things, and then he started doing 3 or 4 nice things, and before you know it, he's had a really good game. So wrapped with that, we need 22 solid contributors in the game, and I think we got as close to that as you could.
And Zach Burt behind the ball, what was the thinking there?
Yeah, so we've just been leaking too many goals the last 2 weeks, like 18 against Lauderdale. I know they kicked 18 goals 3, but we gave them easy shots, so all good looks at it, coming from the pressure in the mids, and we just sort of need a bit of just to stabilise things a bit down there. And Berta did well, and Jock White, it's his first game back. I think it's his last game was against Devonport or Burnie, round 4 or 5. So we've been really keen to get him in from the start. He missed missed the first 2 or 3 games with an ankle injury, played 2 or 3 games and got glandula, so we rate him really highly. He's a good kid as well. He's a great fella, and it was good to get him back in the side.
Yeah, look, quality players, quality team. Played a good brand of footy today, and their quality players probably got off the leash just a touch. But the positive out of that is that our boys, I reckon, learnt a little bit today. Spread from the stoppage, and you can't allow quality players like Tom Couch to stream through the forward 50 and have shots on goal. So so the boys are disappointed, but I reckon they've learned a little bit.
happy with the start? Obviously, you shot out of the box and had a lead at quarter time.
Yeah, look, I think we played the way we wanted to play in the first quarter, and that was by switching the ball to to a side of the ground that was able to then release our speed, and we were able to transition the ball from defence down to the forward line reasonably quickly. So we went away from that a little bit. To North Lonnie's credit, they were able to stem the flow and be able to make us kick down the line a little bit more than what we would have liked. So and then set up a stoppage and go from there.
A good game from young Kilpatrick, 4 goals from pretty limited supply.
Yeah, look, he said before the game he hadn't kicked a goal this year, so he's been playing the forward line all year. So he's been playing up high a little bit as a half forward, and but today he had a good game and got the rewards after working reasonably hard.
Midfield, you started strong. Was it a case where North Lonnie probably had a few more to go through there and a little too much was left to too few for you guys? Yeah,
a little bit, but I think it was more our accountability and at the contest and starting points. In the second quarter and third quarter especially, North Lonnie were able to get clean exits from the centre bounces. I think in the second quarter they had, it was 8-2 from the centre bounces. So on this ground you get a clean centre bounce or centre clearance, you sort of tend to go into the inside 50 into a pretty dangerous position, and it's pretty hard to defend. So, the fundamentals of the game were a little bit, we lacked a little bit, and that might have been a little bit of concentration after the bye, which we need to work on.
Big Dell's return, how did you see that?
Yeah, good. We had to put him down back just to match up on Cox Goodyear, who's a reasonably solid type player, and was a little bit strong for some others, and he was rotating on ball. So we had to throw Delly down back just to start, just to cement it, and then we threw him forward, which was good. I thought his game down back was pretty good, and his return was pretty good. Finished off with the goals.
And yourself, mate, we're used to talking to Bear post-game because you're all, I don't know, taking the strapping off or whatever you do, but why weren't you out there?
There's a fair bit of strapping, Gilly. No, look, just a bit of trouble with my knee at the moment, so it was swelling up a little bit too much, and just needed to get a bit of work on it.
And Tigers next week, a game you'd be wanting to win, especially after the first game you played against them, one you probably should have won on the day.
Yeah, and look, it's definitely cost us in the first half of the year. It's one that definitely got away, but we just looked at it then. Our next 6 games are pretty winnable if the boys want to do it and bring the right mindset. So, it's definitely not down in the dumps and pack up and go home sort of thing. Next week is definitely one of the most important games of our year, and then we move on from there.